Our lives are a string of insights, flashes of inspiration that can be the catalyst for new ideas. However, our pace of life these days means we tend to miss some of them completely. I'm Dave Hill, and I'm the host of the Simple Reflections podcast, a fortnightly series of interviews with people from all walks of life. Our conversations are an invitation to reflect on some of the simple insights my guests have had that have gone on to have a profound impact on their lives. So grab a cuppa and a biscuit, join us, slow down for a little while and see what shows up for you. Hi, welcome to the next episode of the Simple Reflections podcast. As you can see, things are a little bit different today. For those of you that can't see because you're just listening, I'm alone. I am in the Royal Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh, one of my favourite places, taking a bit of a wander around because I knew this day would come. I haven't got myself organised enough to get myself a guest for the next episode, and I have been threatening to do something like this and about reflecting on my thoughts of the Simple Reflections podcast, sharing some ideas, some themes that have come up for me over the last 2 years and 62 episodes that we've been working together, walking together, listening together, exploring together. And I thought it would be quite nice to bring you to one of my favourite places to do that. This is going to be, as you say, a slightly different format because it's just me, but that's okay. We're going to probably spend no more than 5 or 6 minutes, if that, together. And I just wanted to share some ideas, really, some things that have cropped up. And they have all revolved around one particular topic, and that is connection. The power of human connection, how important that is in all interactions. And interestingly, on my way here to record this just now, I bumped into a man from the Ruhr in Germany who was a little bit lost, didn't know where he was, and that he wanted to come here to the Royal Botanic Gardens. So I said, well, that's where I'm going. Do you want to come along? And we had a beautiful conversation. Now, I failed to ask that man's name, but we had a deep connection. We had a really lovely conversation. We talked about where he was from in Germany, what he loved about Edinburgh, how he ended up coming to Edinburgh in the 60s to work as a language specialist, working in a couple of schools here. And it was by being curious, by asking questions, that got us to that point. And I think that's basically been the sum of all of the parts of the podcast over the years. It's been this capacity to connect. Now, I mentioned some stats earlier about how long the podcast has been running, how many episodes there have been, but I just thought I would share something with you. My inner geek decided to go and have a look at see how many of those people I'd actually known for a while and how many I hadn't. And interestingly, 20% of the guests that I've had on board this podcast it was the first time we'd ever met. So we maybe spent 5-6 minutes preamble before we clicked record, and that was it. And then we went into the episode itself, and just explored how human creation is made for all of us. How our experience is created for us. Human creation, that's a completely different topic and not something that we're going to be covering here. Slip of the tongue. And another 15% were people that I'd only met once, and maybe for only 5-10 minutes, in passing somewhere, going, you're an interesting person, I'd quite like to speak to you, please. And that got me thinking today about how important connection is for all of us in every facet of life. I know as a coach today, it is central to everything I do, from the people that I meet in the street, like this chap that I met on the way here, to potential clients and helping them settle into the idea of working with me, through to the individuals I meet in Heartfelt Presence, which is if you don't know about it, it's a 24-hour sort of free coaching room where people from all over the world drop in, and you never quite know where they are physically or mentally, and what will be of service to them. And trying to gauge that as quickly as possible, help them feel as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible, so that they can take some value from the conversation. and also from the riflemen that I work with, the veterans that I work with that phone up out of the blue, normally in a time of need, and needing to quickly build rapport with them in an effort to allow them to feel some form of trust and that they're in good hands. Now, there's nothing clever in anything I'm talking about there. There's sort of three key themes, I suppose, which I'm going to go through with you in the next few minutes. One is the idea of who we're being, the choice we have around how we show up in the moment. The second, looking for what's fresh in the conversation, what is going to be of service to both parties or whoever's involved in the conversation to take things forward in a positive way. And the third, remaining as present as we possibly can. Now, diving into those a little bit, the idea of who we want to be, being intentional about how we show up, is something really, really important, and something we don't necessarily take stock to notice that. But we have the capacity to ask ourselves, how do I want to show up in this next moment? What will be of service to this conversation to take it forwards in a way? And normally that starts with a bit of curiosity. Now, if we can remind ourselves of that, then the chances of us connecting with whoever it is, whether it's a stranger that we're just meeting on the street or a member of our family that we are completely in love with but maybe completely at odds with in the same moment, there's something powerful in understanding who we want to be in the conversation that we're about to have. The second thing I mentioned was the idea of looking for what's fresh. What I mean by that is looking for the capacity for insight. We all learn through insight. That's basically been the sort of central thread of the last 62 episodes, me exploring people's insights into how they see things show up for them, how they see things show up for their friends, their family, their clients, whoever it might be, and the simple mechanics that run in the background there. If we come in to a conversation listening to understand, not listening to teach or listening to have a counterpoint to someone else's position, but just listen to where they are, listen to what's important to them, listen to their world view at the moment. Well, there's two things going on there. One, the other person will feel heard, maybe for the first time in their life properly, because most of the interactions we have are transactional. I say something, you say something, I say something in response, and we ping pong back and forwards. When we take time to listen to where someone else is coming from, we are opening ourselves up to the chance of changing ourselves in that moment. That is a really powerful gift to give to somebody, even if it's someone we're meeting for the first time. I know for a fact that I am growing every day. I am learning from every conversation, that I am a perpetual work in progress. That's exciting for me. I know that to be true in everything that I do, and I invite you to explore that, to listen to understand, and to slow down in our interactions with people so that they get an opportunity to see things differently themselves, or even open their minds up to the idea that they could potentially see things differently. The third thing I want to talk about is being present. The idea that being in this moment, for me, standing here in the Botanics with a tractor going past by the sounds of it, I apologise for that. I need to book some time, obviously. But slowing down to be present in the moment that we are sharing. For me, stood here in this park in Edinburgh on a Friday afternoon, and for you, wherever in the world you are listening to this. Now, you might be listening to it whilst doing something else, and that's absolutely fine. But I know for a fact that if you were to slow yourself right down and truly be present with the conversation that I'm inviting you into, you are likely to see something much deeper, much more profound, much more helpful for you, that could make your day. your week, your year, your life. Who knows? That's not for me to say. But there's some really, really cool stuff if we allow ourselves to be present in this moment. The biggest piece of feedback I've had from around the listenership of the Simple Reflections podcast has been around the capacity to slow down, to take stock in the moment, to connect with the people that they love or the people that they're sharing time with, and seeing the beauty of what is possible from that space. Not knowing the answer, but knowing that something is going to show up. So that's what I want to say about connection. It is key to every part of our lives. It is, the television programs, the films that we watch, we establish a connection with the characters in there that invite us into that story. And for as long as we give ourselves up to that experience, that's the experience that we're having. We have that capacity in any moment with whoever we are speaking to. So remember who it is that you are being, who you want to be stepping into that conversation. Even if it's a conversation with yourself, how do I want to take this forwards? Get curious about that. That curiosity will allow you to slow down, to look for things that are fresh and new in this moment. And that will come quite easily with listening to understand. When we've got eyes for something fresh, we're looking for insight, we're looking for something new. And that is where our learning edge comes from, our capacity to grow. In that, the third thing, being present, being grounded in this moment, enjoying it for what it is, and realizing that if we're thinking about stuff that's coming up, or we're back in stuff in the past, that's probably not serving us. It's absolutely okay, but if we can bring ourselves back to being present now, that would be amazing. So I hope this has been useful. I hope you've heard something different from today. I apologise again for not organising myself better to get a guest in, but this is something I've been wanting to try for a while. What I'd be really interested in from you as you're listening to this today is, what have you heard? What has resonated with you today? And maybe even more interestingly, what kind of topics would you like me to tackle in this kind of short format, where it's just me and you taking a wander in a woods or in a park and seeing what shows up? Anyway, I wish you all the very best. Have a wonderful summer, or whatever time of year it is when you get round to listening to this. And I hope to see you soon on the Simple Reflections podcast. Take care.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed the conversation, feel free to subscribe and join me and my new guest next time. If you're interested in the work I'm doing, or you think I can be of service to you or your organisation, please email dave@simplicityofmind.co.uk. Remember, see if you can find time to slow down and reflect. Those simple ideas might be worth listening to. Take care, and I hope you can join me in a couple of weeks.